They call it the most dangerous job in the world, and it's not a war zone. It's not the oil rigs. It's a fishing boat, somewhere in the middle of the Bering Sea, where one wrong step could mean never coming home. Out here, between Alaska and Russia, the ocean doesn't forgive. Waves rise higher than buildings. Ice coats the decks in minutes. And yet, hundreds of fishermen still climb aboard every winter, chasing a creature worth more than gold, the king crab. But why? Why risk your life for it? And how do they even survive it? This is the story of Alaska's king crab fishermen, the real-life men behind the myth, the storms, the danger, and the reason they keep going back, even when it costs them everything. It's 4 a.m. in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. The wind cuts like glass. The docks creak under the weight of ice. Floodlights burn through the dark as crews load the last crab pots, one after another, stacking them like steel cathedrals on deck. You can see it in their faces, that mix of nerves and focus, caffeine and fear. They've done this 100 times, but it never feels routine, because every season starts the same way, with one question no one says out loud. Will we make it back? The radio crackles. The captain's voice breaks through. Let's go, boys. Time to earn it. It starts long before the first pot hits the water. Every October, as the temperature drops and the daylight fades, hundreds of ships head north from Dutch Harbor, a tiny outpost in the Aleutian Islands. They call it crab season. To outsiders, it sounds almost romantic. Adventure, money, man versus nature. But for the crew, it's a brutal reality. Weeks of no sleep, constant cold, and danger at every turn. Each boat carries stacks of steel cages called crab pots, 700 pounds each, built to trap crabs crawling along the seafloor. Crews will drop hundreds of these pots into the freezing Bering Sea, marked only by small floating buoys bobbing in the gray waves. And then, they wait. When the pots are hauled back up, it's chaos. Wet, freezing, violent chaos. Cranes swing, ropes snap tight, steel clangs, waves crash over the bowl. The crew works like machines, baiting, sorting, stacking, because time is money, and every hour lost is crab lost. They're paid by the catch. No crab, no paycheck. On a good run, one pot might bring in thousands of dollars worth of king crab. On a bad one, it might just bring back starfish, broken shells, and disappointment. And when the season's over, that's it. Months of waiting until next year. One season can make or break a fisherman's entire year, or his life. This job isn't a normal job. You don't clock in at 9 and go home at 5. These guys work 20 hours a day, often for days straight. Sleep happens in stolen minutes, maybe 2 hours between hauling strings of pots if they're lucky. There's no such thing as comfort. The deck is slick with ice. The air cuts like knives. Coffee is their only constant. The shifts go on and on, one after another, until exhaustion turns everything blurry. And that's when the danger really begins. One slip, one wrong pull, that's all it takes. Imagine trying to stand on a deck that's pitching and rolling under your feet, while swinging 800-pound steel traps hang from a crane just feet away from your head. Now, add sub-zero temperatures, sideways snow, and a storm that's shaking the entire boat. That's not just hard, that's survival. But here's the thing, they choose it, because a single season can pay more than most people make in a year. Some deckhands pull in $50,000 to $100,000 in just a few weeks. But the paycheck come, ironically, with a catch, the risk of never cashing it. And the biggest risk is the sea. The Bering Sea is a killer, flat out. It's not the waves themselves, it's everything that comes with them. Ice, wind, machinery, exhaustion, and the cold. When a storm rolls in, waves can climb to 40 feet. The entire world becomes a blur of white and gray. Boats ice over so fast that if crews don't hack away the buildup with sledgehammers, the ship can actually capsize from the weight. It's happened before, many times. In 2020, the Scandies Rose, a 130-foot crab boat, sank on New Year's Eve. Only 2 of the 7 crew members survived. They were found hours later, floating in survival suits in the freezing dark. That's the Bering Sea. It doesn't care how experienced you are. Even in calm weather, danger never leaves the deck. Those crab pots, they can crush bones in seconds. The hydraulic winches, one caught sleeve or rope, and you're gone. And then there's the worst sound a fisherman can hear. Man overboard. In those waters, you have maybe 5 to 10 minutes before hypothermia shuts down your body. The crew races to throw life rings, keep eyes on the victim, fight the wind, maneuver the boat, all while knowing that seconds mean life or death. Every fisherman has stories, people they've lost, names they don't forget. Out here, everyone knows someone who didn't come back. But back in the days, it wasn't always this organized like today. Back in the 1990s, crab fishing was a full-on free-for-all, what they called the Derby days. When the season opened, every boat in the fleet would rush to catch as much as possible, as fast as possible, before the quota was gone. It turned the Bering Sea into a battlefield. Boats would go out in storms, crews worked to exhaustion, corners were cut, and people died, a lot. The fatality rate was insane. Over 300 deaths per 100,000 workers per year. For perspective, the average American worker's risk of dying on the job is less than 4 per 100,000. Something had to change. So, in 2005, the government introduced what's called the Rationalization Program. Instead of a race, every vessel got its own quota. They could fish slower, safer, and more efficiently. And slowly, the death toll dropped. But even with new regulations, training, and better gear, crab fishing is still no joke. Before every season, crews go through Coast Guard safety courses, man overboard recovery, fire drills, cold water survival. They learn to use emergency beacons that activate if a ship goes down, and to launch life rafts packed with rations, flares, and radios. On deck, the routine becomes second nature. Every move, every call, every safety line is drilled into their muscle memory. They wear Gumby suits, bright orange, full-body survival suits that can keep you alive in freezing water for hours. They check fire suppression systems, bilge pumps, life jackets, and radios before each trip. And still, even with all that, there's no guarantee. Because sometimes safety isn't enough. Sometimes it's just bad luck. There's a saying among crab fishermen, hope for calm seas, prepare for chaos. They've learned to respect the ocean because no one wins against it. Each crew has its own rhythm, its own set of unspoken rules. The captain runs the show. The captain isn't just the boss. He's the center of the ship's universe. He makes the life or death calls, keeps morale from breaking, and sometimes has to be tough enough to command absolute obedience, even when everyone's exhausted, freezing, and scared. On the deck boss calls out orders, keeps the pace, and makes sure no one screws up. Communication is everything. A single misheard command can mean disaster. That's why every movement is coordinated, like a dance, but one where every step can kill you. When they haul in pots, everyone knows their place. One person hooks the pot, another guides it in, another clears the rope. There's yelling, cursing, laughter, and an unspoken understanding that mistakes can't happen. They work through pain, through cold, through fear. Hands bleed, backs ache, but no one stops because the next wave's already coming. And when something does go wrong, instinct takes over. A man falls overboard, everyone drops what they're doing. Someone throws a life ring, another yells for the captain to turn the boat. The others grab gaff hooks, ropes, or poles. If they can reach him in under 2 minutes, he's got a chance. After 5 minutes, maybe not. After 10, almost never. They know the statistics. They've rehearsed it 100 times. But when it happens for real, no one breathes until he's back on deck. And when he is, there's no celebration, just silence. Then, back to work, because the sea doesn't stop for anyone. At this point, you might be wondering, why? Why risk your life for crab? It's not just the money, though. That's a big part of it. It's something deeper, something primal. Most of these men grew up around boats. They've seen the ocean since they were kids. Their fathers fished, their grandfathers fished. For them, the sea isn't a job. It's a way of life. There's also the rush, the adrenaline. When the deck lights hit the snow and the wind screams and they're hauling up pots full of crimson crabs, there's nothing like it. It's chaos, but it's beautiful. They talk about it like an addiction. You hate it while you're there, but the second you're back on land, you miss it. You miss the danger, the rhythm, the sense of purpose. It's not for everyone. It's for the few who can take it, who can look at the Bering Sea and say, let's go. And every year, when the season starts, they do it all over again. Because out there, in that frozen, violent world, they find something pure, something real. The danger isn't a reason to quit, it's a reason to go. But make no mistake, the sea always takes its share. Every year, memorials are held in Dutch Harbor for fishermen who didn't make it back. Names are read aloud, bells ring. Wives, kids, friends, they stand in the cold, staring at a wall of names etched into stone. Some from decades ago, some from last season. It's not just statistics, it's people. People who laughed, fought, worked, dreamed, and vanished beneath the waves. Ask any veteran fisherman, and they'll tell you, you don't beat the sea. You just survive it a little longer. And that's the truth behind the romance of crab fishing. It's not about glory or fame or TV shows. It's about endurance, the human instinct to keep going, even when everything tries to stop you. In recent years, even the crabs themselves have started disappearing. Populations of red king crab have crashed, so much so that Alaska canceled entire seasons to let them recover. Boats sat idle, crews lost income. Some ships sold off equipment, others went bankrupt. For the first time, it wasn't storms or accidents that ended a season. It was the absence of crab itself. It's a reminder that even the most powerful humans, with all their machines and skill, are still at the mercy of nature. And yet, even as quotas shrink and costs rise, there's always someone ready to take the risk. Someone who believes the next season will be different. Because for them, crab fishing isn't just a job. It's a story of grit, fear, courage, and survival.